everyone, it's me once again. I held that surprisingly long. Anyway, we got more Transformers. I know I don't have Met or Fable here for us, but I think Fable's a bit burnt out. He did a lot of those reactions to Transformers, the basics, and other Transformers content, and he was just kind of out of it, so he's gonna be out of it for a bit. Kind of like when I ate nothing but pizza for, 1 year in middle school. That was, I wanted to see what would happen. What happened is I started to hate pizza. It wasn't like a lot, it was just like a single slice. Anyway, besides that, Cosmos, the UFO. I'm sure his lore is going to be out of this world. I couldn't think of another, like, alien UFO joke. Technically all Transformers are aliens, so... I don't think anyone's going to hurt me for that one, but anyway. As I said before, please support Chris McFeely over here. He does a lot of good work for the Transformers community, and I separate these videos out quite a bit. Anyway, if you guys want more of this, you have to like, you have to comment, and you have to subscribe. That's what tells me you guys want more. If so, then, yeah. We're probably gonna do more. Anyway, let's head into this and see where the heck it goes. I'm not sure where it's gonna go, but it's going to be... I couldn't think of another UFO pun. Anyway.
This episode, we're taking a look at the basics on the Autobots' Eyes in the Skies, the Outer Space Observer, Cosmos.
Cosmos. I thought it was Cosmos.
The original Cosmos toy was first released in 1985. He was one of the line's small-scale Autobot mini-vehicles, and was notable for his unusual alternate mode, transforming into a flying saucer.
Yeah.
Cosmos and his fellow 1985 mini-vehicles were some of the very first brand new Transformers toys that hadn't previously been available as part of the Japanese toy line. It's generally thought that they were designed for Takara's Micro-Change line, but wound up going unproduced until Transformers. A profile for Cosmos was written by Marvel Comics writer Bob Budiansky, which characterized him as a weak, slow robot not well suited to operating on the ground, who instead spent most of his time in orbit around Earth, monitoring the planet and acting as a communications satellite for his teammates. It was...
Can I just say one thing that I forgot to add earlier, because I didn't realize it till looking at his design. He has a very distinct head shape. Like, it's like, usually Transformers have that sort of square, boxy head, you know what I mean? And sure, his faceplate kind of looks like some of the normal Transformers stuff, but just as his head shape is very unusual for a Transformer, and I think that's kind of what makes him unique in that general direction. Anyway.
It was a boring, lonely life. But Cosmos would occasionally relieve the tedium by coming down to playfully scare humans with his saucer form.
Oh my god.
Now, writing this profile was about the most significant thing Budiansky ever did with Cosmos. The character didn't get much to do in the stories he wrote for the Marvel comic book, in which Cosmos was a member of an underground resistance cell on Cybertron, who came to Earth over the Decepticon space bridge.
Interesting.
The Transformers cartoon, on the other hand, would give Cosmos a bigger role, introducing him partway through its second season in an episode that saw him tow the Autobots back to Earth after they were stranded in space.
Wow.
Now, like most of the new characters who joined the show at this time, no explanation was ever given for where Cosmos had come from. But his spacefaring alt mode helped to broaden the scope of the cartoon's stories, as he could enlarge himself in saucer mode to carry passengers to other planets.
That's actually pretty interesting, because the only other one that I know that usually does that is, Astro Train, as far as I know. So yeah, it's nice the Autobots have someone that can do it. Only Astro Train can fit like multiple people. I don't know if he can fit multiple, but I'm guessing not, given his size.
Most often, though, Cosmos's outer space adventures involved him getting into trouble and needing to be rescued.
There's Astro
Whether
Chain.
he was being held prisoner by the Decepticons on Earth's moon and forced to power their new communication scrambling device, crashing on Saturn's moon Titan and having his unconscious body worshipped as a god by primitive aliens, or accidentally carrying an infestation of robotic alien plants back to Earth. Cosmos's voice was provided by actor Michael McConaughey,
got quite a bit in the comic,
was an impression
in the show.
of classic Hollywood performer Peter Lorre.
No sign of Decepticon activity here, Prime. Just a little fender bender on the west side.
The
continued
I've heard that
availability
kind of voice.
Cosmos's toy in 1986 earned him a couple of brief appearances in the show's third season. But after the figure was discontinued in 1987, he was quietly phased out of both the cartoon and the comic.
Of course. Happens to a lot of them.
Cosmos wouldn't be heard from again until the 21st century. But it was a long road back to prominence for him.
I will say one thing, also his very design, since he turns into a UFO, is very distinct, since he's more not spherical. Damn it. Can't think of the word off the top of my head, because I don't know. The heat's probably getting to me again. It's been a very hot summer for me. I'm sorry, everyone, but yeah, that's kind of affecting me.
Many bumps along the way. Artist Don Figueroa designed a new Cosmos toy for 2006's Transformers Classics line. But Hasbro wound up rejecting the idea because they thought his alternate mode was too boring.
What?
The design was revived for 2007's Titanium series.
Okay, let me go back one. Is it because he just looks like a bladed frisbee? I mean, yeah, but it's a lot different than a lot of what the other Transformers are doing at the very least. I think it looks good enough. And plus he still has his iconic head shape here.
The idea because they thought
also I do like that it looks like he has guns in his arms.
Alternate mode was too...
Maybe I just like him because he sorry, I'm going off on a little tangent here. Maybe I just like him because he reminds me of the Asimar. For those who don't know, the Asimar is a mecha or mobile suit from Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta who also turns into a UFO-looking thing. Yeah. You can probably look up Gundam UFO and you'll find him.
Boring. The design was revived for 2007's Titanium series, and this time made it as far as the prototype stage before it and the entire line were cancelled.
Damn.
It wasn't until Transformers Universe in 2009 that Cosmos finally got a new figure, a streamlined update of his classic saucer form.
Looks alright.
It was a similar struggle to feature Cosmos in cartoons. A new
His design
version
looks
of
a
the
little silly
character,
here.
an astronomer who transformed into a mobile observatory, was designed for Transformers Animated, but he only appeared in a few crowd-scene cameos in the show's third season in 2009.
Damn.
The crew wanted to do an episode in which Cosmos came to Earth to deliver a message to Optimus Prime, during which he would have acquired his classic flying saucer mode by scanning a prop on the set of a cheesy sci-fi B-movie,
Oh my god,
only to then
that's silly.
lose his memory and think he was a real alien invader. But the show's cancellation meant the idea never made it to the screen.
Yeah.
Hasbro's Rick Alvarez has said he wanted to revisit this idea for the third season of Transformers Prime in 2013, in which Cosmos would have been depicted as an inhabitant of the Cybertronian colony planet Gobatron, who came to Earth as a herald for the space pirates, the Star Seekers. But the possibility of this happening went out the window when the Star Seekers were cut from the show.
Yeah, the Star Seekers doesn't get a lot. I honestly think having Transformers robots is actually a good idea, but that's me personally. What do you think about it? I think adding a little like side faction here and there that's not in the alignment is okay.
It was really only in comic books that Cosmos received any attention, though it was typically only in brief or quirky roles that saw him use his spaceflight capabilities to save the day. These included destroying the monster planet Unicron with metal-eating spores in the 2007 G.I. Joe crossover Black Horizon.
Wow.
Intercepting and redirecting a nuclear missile mid-flight in IDW Publishing's 2010 story International Incident, and wiping out an invading armada of Martian flying saucers by using his own saucer form to hide among them in a 2013 crossover with Mars Attacks. IDW did have plans.
I did a reaction video to learning about Dinosaur Attacks and how it's basically just another series similar to Mars Attacks created by the same people. I wasn't expecting Transformers to get involved in there. Transformers gets everywhere, huh? I just never really thought about that, huh? Mars Attacks is silly, but also very dark. And Mars Attacks with Dinosaurs also gets very dark. And Dinosaurs Attack also gets very dark. There, for some reason, there's a Devil God Dinosaur. You can look into it if you want.
To give Cosmos a solo starring role in his own self-titled Spotlight special in 2009. But like so much else involving the character, it was cancelled.
Alright.
It was in 2014 that Cosmos finally, truly returned to the fore with the release of another new toy in the Transformers Generations line. Part of the Thrilling 30 series that celebrated the brand's 30th anniversary, the figure came packaged with the Autobot space shuttle Payload, who converted into a blaster for Cosmos to wield. The same year, Cosmos was elevated to become a main cast member in IDW's Robots in Disguise comic book. This series emphasized Cosmos's growing frustration over the boredom and isolation of his job, as he increasingly felt like he was being ignored and taken for granted. His dissatisfaction led to him forming a surprising friendship with the peaceful Decepticon Soundwave, who invited Cosmos to come and live on his new outer space commune, Sanctuary Station. After some initial hesitation, Cosmos accepted, and though he would still help...
I will say, the art of this comic, whether or not the stories are good, which I have been told some of them are, the art design of these comics are so good, quite literally. I don't know who's the artist for these comics, but they did an amazing job in designing these characters and their artwork. Hell, this kind of reminds me of the... Does this remind anyone of the Doom cover? You know exactly which one I'm talking about, though. If my voice sounds a bit different, I have a sore throat.
The Autobots, when they needed him, he found a home and friends on Sanctuary, and ultimately gave his life defending it against the forces of Unicron. After IDW rebooted their comics in 2019, Cosmos enjoyed another starring role in the 2020 Valentine's Special, which told the story of how he fell into a long-distance romance with the Combaticon Blastoff, a space shuttle who also lived a lonely existence out on the spaceways.
I thought they lived with the Combaticons.
2020 also saw Cosmos return to TV screens in the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon. This series featured a female incarnation of Cosmos, who co-hosted the Cybertronian TV show Alien Hunt alongside the adventurous Meteor Fire, traveling to alien worlds and hunting for new life forms.
Oh my god.
On one such hunt, Cosmos disappeared, abducted by a telepathic alien parasite, and the depressed Meteor Fire withdrew from public life. But when the creature reappeared on Cybertron's moon, he teamed up with Bumblebee to rescue Cosmos from her alien captor. Most recently, in 2022, another new figure of Cosmos, based directly on his classic cartoon character design, was released in the Transformers Legacy toy line as part of the Velocitron Speedia 500 collection. This range of figures centered on Transformers from across the multiverse gathering for a race on the planet Velocitron. But since Cosmos' spaceship form would be a weird fit for a race between motor vehicles, he was given a checkered flag accessory and cast as the race's starter.
I kind of like that.
As one of the most sought-after toys...
Because there's usually like someone talking over them, and these kinds of things, like on a helicopter or something, if they're doing a crazy race.
Cosmos has
like
come
the
a
wacky
long
racers.
way after so many years of false starts, cancelled plans, and minor appearances. But he's always been a bot who's never stopped reaching for the stars. And those are the basics on Cosmos. If you've enjoyed...
What do you guys think of Cosmos, honestly? I kind of like him. He's a bit goofy in terms of design, but that's okay. But yeah. He's a little bot that hasn't gotten much. But honestly, you don't need much to become a favorite of someone somewhere in the series known as Transformers. Or I should say the franchise. Dear God, Transformers has gone on for like ever. Anyway. If you like what I'm doing here, I've said it at the start and I'll say it at the end. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe to help me continuing to do this. And yeah, I'll see you guys all there. Take care of yourselves and be good to yourselves. Oh, one more thing. Damn it, I had it just a minute ago. I will be doing something interesting there. Hopefully I can give a video to you guys about it, but I'm going to be trying something interesting, you know, besides our usual comic dubs and gameplay videos and reaction videos. I'll tell you guys once I have it done. Later, guys, and take care of yourselves.